A lot of people have asked me over the decades how I've been able to go from being a fan of this music and turn my passion for it into also my career. Obviously, it's something that a lot of people would love to do, to have their greatest passion also be what they do for a living. And I don't take that lightly. I'm very lucky that that's happened. And honestly, I put a lot of hard work and persistence into making that happen too. And of course, I've gotten some breaks along the way, which all kind of come together to make it happen. But I would say that the most important thing, I have this kind of saying that I tell young people all the time when they ask me about trying to break into TV, break into radio, or any job they might want to get. And I always say, it's great to be persistent, but not annoying. And that's a very fine line. You know, you have to find that line where you can show somebody that you really care, you're really passionate, you really want to do this, you believe you can do it, but also not go over that line where you pound them so hard that they get annoyed by you and just tune you out and they don't care and they just shut you down. A lot of bands make that mistake when they're trying to pitch new music or get off, you know, they just keep pounding you with emails and stuff, and you understand they're looking for their window and it's so competitive, but at the same token, sometimes it gets to be too much and you just turn the other way on them and just, I can't hear that name again. So it's you have to kind of try to find that line where you can show somebody that you really care and that you really know your stuff and that you're persistent and want to work at it and grow and develop and willing to take advice and willing to compromise and bend, but still stay true to what you want to do and what you really feel in your heart. I was told at a very young age, I'll never forget this. I was working in a hardware store. The local DJ came in on the station I grew up with, and I said to him, you know, I'd love to maybe one day do what you do and be on the radio. And I'll never forget him telling me, it's never going to happen, kid, forget about it. I can hear you're not cut out for it, it's not going to happen. That drove me tremendously. Nothing drives me more personally than somebody telling me I can't do something. So when I broke down the doors in radio, it was about, okay, now I'd like to be on TV. And you know, clearly I don't look like Brad Pitt, so I needed to find a way that I could get on TV that people would still care about what I was saying and what I was going to have to do, have to offer. So again, the same thing, my passion, bring that forward and find ways to build a great resume, build great references, and number one thing for me by far is experience. My first few years in radio in New Jersey, I didn't get paid at all. Literally zero. I just hung around the radio station, had ideas, I was like a sponge, I chipped in. And then when I did get on the air, finally, I did any shift they asked me to do. We got to do overnights, so what? You know what? I'll suck it up and do it on no sleep, just to get on the air, just to get that air check, just to get that made. And growing up in New Jersey, where I still live, 35, 40 miles from New York City, that's the #1 market in America. I never set my goals to be on in New York City, but I was like, man, it'd be pretty cool if I could be doing my show in New York City. And then around 1994, this station came on in New York called Q1043. That was like this hard rock station. I dropped my tape in from my station in New Jersey, put it in the mail, and sure enough, a guy by the name of Ron Valeri, who, by the way, programs WAAF, got back to me and said, hey, why don't you come on in and sit down and talk with me? And I've been on that radio station in New York ever since. So it's about doing the right thing and working hard and making connections and being persistent and trying to knock down those walls, but without annoying people, because when you go too far over the line, that's when you're just going to get a brick wall.